You're listening to the Live Out Loud podcast with River Wynn and Michelle Flamer.
Hi, River.
Hey, Michelle.
Don't try to match my energy, lady.
I have a lot of energy today, and you are tired.
I'm exhausted. I mean,
Weird.
I that cyber, the CrowdStrike cyber crash
Mm-hmm.
affected so many people, obviously. It was a global thing. And I was coming back from the Atlanta gift show, the America's Mart, and trying to make my way home on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And my coworkers the day before had like a 3 hour layover. And I thought, well, if it's only 3 hours for them, surely the next morning, first kind of plane out of the gate, because I always pick like the earliest flights.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, 12 hours? Planes got canceled. They could not find crew.
Wow.
But I will tell you that the Delta gate agents were magical. They
I'm
were
so glad because that could be such a stressful situation for everyone.
They
I
handled it. Yeah, they handled it so amazing that they were just like, we were laughing with her and her announcements. And she was like, okay, we need one more flight attendant. And then, like 15 minutes later, she's like, okay, well, not the news you all want to hear. But the flight attendant
Mm.
ended up being illegal because they already finished all their hours, for this trips. And so they can't force them to work.
Mm.
So it's like this whole hoopla thing. And
Wow.
then I was so excited because I was like, cool, I'm getting out. Flew into Detroit. And I didn't even get to see Detroit. Like, I'm at and I flew in and I missed my connection by like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. I, I, uh, I saw the board and it said, gone.
Oh my gosh. That's so terrible.
I was like, but then I just made,
Oh,
you know me, I just made the best out of it. And
yeah.
I mean, the whole day was kind of crazy, anyways, with moms needing breaks. I held babies, like, they were just like whatever I could do because I didn't have my kid. I was feeling
Mm-hmm.
so bad because I could see how overwhelmed moms were.
Oh my gosh. I can't even, as a mom, I mean, I can't fathom getting stuck in an airport with my two kids.
Yeah, in
I,
Detroit, yeah, it's no, it's nuts. In Detroit, and all the kids were so good. Like they
mm,
knew this was like major. And they were actually I didn't hear I didn't hear negative stuff. I didn't hear parents fighting with their kids. Like the kids were on definitely like overdrive with their electronics. So
hmm
they were like, sweet. But it was, there was this one gal who said, "Hey, I'm gonna leave," and she had like three of these really cozy chairs, like all lined up for like kind of to sleep on. And she sort
hmm
of like was, "Hey, would you like to come, and lay here now?" And I was like, "Oh my God, that would be amazing." Because I
Oh,
kind of put two chairs together, but they were loungy. So it
huh?
wasn't like they were wood chairs or anything, because my hips would not have loved that. But they were just so then that was fine. And I moved over so I could lay down, which was way better. And she like left me like the airplane blankets.
No.
And I could see that a mom, and I didn't know she even had a husband until like early, early morning, like later on, because I actually slept a little bit. And I covered her because she looked cold. So I
No.
like took one of the blankets and I was like, hey, don't want to disturb you, but like, here you go.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
she
that's
was they were from France.
I love that. I love how humans like I feel like socially we have this concept that when shit goes down, humans turn into terrible people. But I think
Yeah.
that's just not true at all. I feel like humans actually show their better sides and help each other out.
Yeah, I mean, I think also because it was like a cyber attack type thing, it wasn't about the airlines. If it was about the airlines, I think people
Mm-hmm.
would have been more pissed off. But everyone was like, well, crap. I mean, this is just bad luck.
Yeah, this is where we
You
are. We
can't-
can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and you can't get mad at the airplanes, like at the airplane, the air companies. Like, it's like, what are you gonna do? Yell at American and Delta, and you can't have a cyber attack. You know what I mean? Like, the only one who was honestly not affected, which I thought was very interesting, was Southwest. They don't use CrowdStrike. They don't use the same software as the
Oh.
other companies.
Oh, I did not know that. I didn't know that they weren't affected.
Yeah.
Interesting. I have not heard, I've never flown Southwest that I can recall. I don't think I have, but I've not heard a lot of people saying that they like Southwest. So
So
interesting.
yeah, so
Hmm.
listeners, if you're hearing me today, I feel like I'm jet lagged. I feel like I'm like have this weird hangover, and I literally am just like hit a wall. What did you say to
Mhm.
me on the phone? Something about me being a generator?
Yeah, you're in generator burnout. You know,
Yeah.
your human design type is generator where you just like have constant, steady, consistent energy to get things done and just show up for the day. And it's beautiful. I love generators. You guys get so much accomplished, but then because you're constantly outputting,
Hmm.
sometimes you just reach a point where you're just like, all right, burnout,
I
done.
think,
And it's like a deep, deep need for
uh-huh.
rest.
And of course, I had to let everyone know I finally landed at home. And so then everyone's texting me and Marco Poloing me.
Mm,
And for the first time in a long time, I couldn't even listen to anything. Like,
mm-hmm,
I just, that input, like, done,
mm-hmm.
hooked. It's crazy. So tell me about this is, wait, this is like the last bit from is this the last day of your 2 weeks?
Yeah, my 2 week solo without the kids. Yeah, they come home tonight.
That two
Yeah.
weeks went really fast.
It went so fast.
Like I
I
remember
just
you're like in the beginning, the first 2 days, you're like, I am beside myself. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna like, you're like, my ADHD is telling me to like do 20 things, but my procrastination side is like, and then my manifestor side's telling me something else. And
decision
here we are.
paralysis for a couple of days, and here we are. And you know what, Michelle?
Actually,
It has been
you actually got a lot of good shit done.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, I cannot believe what happened these past 2 weeks for me.
Major.
Every
Yep.
single day,
Yep.
I got affirmation from my guides because they had told me, stay home,
Yep.
because I was originally going to travel for 2 weeks. And they were like, no, stay home. You need to stay home. And I didn't know why, but I was being nudged to stay home. And the second I chose to stay home, things just started manifesting left and right,
Hmm.
from like free coffee, free food, getting to see friends I haven't seen in a long time
Incense.
randomly. Yeah, running out of incense, and then a friend showing up at my door with a gift of incense, and I hadn't even told her I was out of incense. All
So
these like crazy little tiny things kept manifesting through. And then the big wild one is that
yeah.
I was invited to interview for a job
Yep.
that is deeply aligned with what I need for my life.
Yep.
And less than 24 hours after interviewing, they offered me the job. And I accepted.
So
And,
freaking awesome.
and so now I am, so this 2 weeks has felt like a chapter closing while another chapter is opening at the same time in a very deep spiritual way. And I have just sat with it and been present for it and allowed it to happen. And now I'm starting a new job in September that is a really freaking cool job that aligns so well with my schedule and my needs with the kids, and really is going to look great uh, on my resume for my future goals. So I
Yeah.
am really stoked.
I'm really stoked for you. And I like how you've just been processing like, you know, like what this new like beginning is going to look like for you, this new chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a really cool transition. So I'm going to be working at a nature preschool. It's a
So cool.
fully outdoor
I want to
preschool.
go.
I know. I'm like, it's a new school, and I know the women who founded it and put it together, and it's very arts based, all in nature. Um, and I'm going to be their teaching assistant for this next school year. And I'm just really stoked to hang out with some amazing women who are super creative, work alongside them, and then just a really rad group of kids who are going to be outside learning and playing and getting to be outdoors myself. Just sounds so freaking
So,
cool.
yeah, it's so awesome. I'm so stoked
Yeah.
for you.
Thank you. Yeah. I think it's really a testament that when we slow down and we listen,
Yeah,
you know, I think it's so easy to get caught up in anxiety and worrying and trying to control things and figure shit out all the time. But if you just slow down and just listen and be present, it's wild what can come through.
I know. Um, I think it's really cool. I think speaking of slowdown, it's like uh our year anniversary of our podcast and everybody's
No.
it's so sweet. It's like I like how we have just slowly built like something that we're really proud of and
Yeah.
we've just put in that consistent work to it where I mean I can't believe we're on podcast, episode 56. And that doesn't
Does,
even include some of the solo casts.
doesn't that just kind of blow your mind? I feel like it's been longer than a year
I know.
in some ways.
Well, because we've
Um,
been friends longer than the year, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and just so much has happened in the last year since we started the
Yeah,
podcast. Like we're both in such different chapters of life,
for sure.
and we've just had so many amazing guests, and it just feels like it's been a part of our life for a lot longer.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I want to have more really cool guests on this next year.
Hmm.
I've been digging into really looking at some social media for those new people and just
Hmm.
kind of deep diving on some of them to see who feels really aligned for us going forward. And,
Hmm.
in the chapter that we're in, we might not talk as much about divorce this coming year. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
talking about dating, but also talking about relationships and
Hmm.
being in the relationships and also feeling aligned to what we do from a career standpoint and
Yeah.
and what that looks like and abundance, and creating more
Hmm.
abundance in our life and continue to romanticize the life we want. I like all these things that have come into play, in the last few months. It's really been beautiful. So I'm super excited for this upcoming year. I think it's going to be really fantastic.
And we're both going to be in the best shape of our lives because we're doing 75 hard right now.
Man, I can't believe I have really hit those 10,000 step like plus goals every day. And at the trade show it was really easy. I think I was like at 13, 15. I think I had a 16,000 foot, step day. So it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm doing about 7 to 8 miles a day and
Oh my God,
walking.
I love it. Hi, and I'm going to record a podcast with some weights in my hand.
I just realized that I'm holding weights because they were sitting in my chair, and I just, being ADHD, I'm like, oh, there's a thing. I'm going to touch it. And then now I'm
Yeah.
playing with it. And that's just happening
There's this full moon, Capricorn, right?
today. Well, I
And
mean,
then
the
a
day
big
that this
ass
releases, it will be past the full moon. But the day that we're recording, yes, there's Sunday, it is a full moon in Capricorn.
and then Biden comes out of the gate. We don't normally talk about politics, but super fascinating for him. I mean, as a man, as a white man in America, I would say I'm really glad he knows his limits. Like, I'm really proud of him.
It's interesting to me, the astrology of what's going on right now, because we've had two full moons in Capricorn back to back.
Yeah,
And it is very much like a portal of like letting things go
yeah,
And it blows my mind that today on the second Capricorn full moon, Biden was like, I'm stepping down.
Yep.
And something about him stepping down just brought me an immediate sense of peace and hopefulness, energetically. And I was like, oh, this is a really good thing. I can't explain to you why,
Yeah.
but I just feel intuitively like this is a really good thing.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that I mean, and we might have listeners who, are also on the other side of the aisle, so we won't talk much more about that, but it was just fascinating from an astrology point of view.
It was really cool to see.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in the next year it's gonna get even more interesting.
Oh my God. Yes, I know. It's our country's really having some fun right now.
Oh
I
man, bring it
know.
on. Bring it on.
Bring it on, because we do 75 hard, suckers. We are bringing it on. We are going to be maximizing our bring on.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And I did not have a gummy. No, I'm just this tired. I'm like literally punch drunk at this point.
You literally look like you want to fall
If I sat at the
asleep.
chair, I was sitting at my desk like I always do.
Mm,
My legs, everything just is like, they just need to be in a state of rest, because I think you're so hyper vigilant when you're sleeping in a public area. Like, I kind of imagine like homeless people now, and they don't really sleep unless they knock themselves out from alcohol or drugs, because they want to protect all their belongings. It really like allowed me to step into that moment of like, oh, because I'm not used to sleeping in public like that.
yeah, it kind of activates your fight or flight a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's why my whole system is just like, you're home, you are safe, you
Hmm.
are, first of all, clean. I had a little sushi from Sprouts, like my
Mm,
belly's happy. And now it's like just saying, yeah, just take it easy now. Just take it.
just rest.
Yeah,
Take some
just
deep
rest.
rest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
good.
anything else that's reportable?
No, I think we covered it. It's going to be a short and good one.
Just a short and sweet one.
Short
Sweet
and sweet.
friend. Well, I appreciate you as always.
And I love you, and I'm glad you're home safe. And I hope you get some
Thank you.
good
I
sleep.
love you. I love you too. Thank you for being there while I was on the road.
Always.
I know. I appreciate you.
Mwah.
Mwah. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode today, be sure to subscribe and share, because what do we say, baby?
Sharing is caring.